Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we are doing part 2 of my Every Black Series Clone Trooper Ever video series. Now, if you have not seen part 1, you'll definitely want to watch it because otherwise you won't know what's going on. So I'll go ahead and leave a link for that down in the description below, and I'll try and put an info card on the screen there. So anyway, if you guys like this video and want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's free, and it really helps out the channel. So let's go ahead and jump on in. The first figure we're going to be taking a look at is one that I don't actually own, and that is the GameStop exclusive Clone Trooper holiday figure. And to be honest with you, I had an opportunity to buy this figure from GameStop and I decided not to just because I really dislike the figure's design. It's one of the most garish, horrible looking figures that I have seen released in the Black Series, and it really doesn't match with the rest of the line in my opinion. It's one of the few Clone Trooper figures that I would recommend that you don't purchase. The next figure we're going to be taking a look at is the Walgreens exclusive Clone Lieutenant figure, and finally, this is a figure that fans have been demanding for years, and in fact, it's a figure I asked for specifically in part 1 of this series. It finally completes that Phase 1 set that we all have, and I'm so glad that Hasbro decided to keep this on the original Clone Trooper body, just to keep everything consistent, especially since these figures have been released over multiple years. Up next, we have the GameStop exclusive Electro Staff Purge Trooper, and this is just a really cool looking figure with a really unique design. And I'm really glad that they released another version of that Purge Trooper, especially since the original one was so hard to find, but they did change up enough to make it unique from the original release. As you can see here, they've removed a lot of the red on the uniform, which I think really changes this figure up enough to differentiate them on a display, but also allows people who couldn't get this original release to have something similar in their collection. Another thing that I think is really unique about this figure is the accessory that it comes with. It comes with this, staff, obviously, and it's just kind of cool to see a different weapon because the majority of the clone figures that we get in this line basically all come with the same set of weapons. So it is unique to see something different, and it's definitely a welcome change for me. Up next, we have Commander Bly, and I am never going to complain when Hasbro adds a new clone commander to the lineup, and really Bly is no exception to that rule. This guy adds a ton of pieces to the parts bin for Hasbro to draw from later. He's got this cool pauldron and these micro or macro binoculars that move down on his helmet here. Really cool. But the most notable thing that this figure does is change up the clone body articulation. As you can see here, his elbow is bent much further than it would normally go, and the shoulders have a huge range of motion increase. Hopefully Hasbro will continue to use these new parts in the future to increase articulation, because it really does make a world of difference on this figure. The only thing that I have to complain about on this figure is that Hasbro missed a bit of paint. There's supposed to be a little stripe here of the dark yellow color on his chin, but honestly that's a stripe that is missed on a ton of different figures and statues, so I can't get too mad at them for that. Up next, we've got the Clone Trooper Kamino, and this is the first figure that was released on the new Clone Trooper body. And this body really does improve the articulation over the original one in a lot of ways. And I think that it does a really nice job of capturing the Clone Wars style of armor, while also kind of blending it into a more realistic style that matches the Black Series. I think that Hasbro did a really nice job here. As far as this figure itself is concerned, there's not much else to say. It's just a really cool design and another really cool clone trooper to add to the collection. Up next, we have got the Walmart exclusive 332nd Ahsoka clone, and this is another clone figure that is released on that new Clone Wars style body, and frankly, the design looks awesome. It's super iconic, and frankly, it's a fan favorite. It's a really, really cool looking figure, and it's one of my favorites from the lineup. My only problem with it is that it's released as a Walmart exclusive, and frankly, I never saw it in stores. I was never able to purchase it online. It basically sold out instantly, and it's basically just been scalped by, people on eBay or wherever. And it's created this real environment where collectors are unhappy and scalpers are getting rich. And I don't know why Hasbro insists on releasing the majority of their Clone Trooper figures as exclusives. Frankly, this guy is an army builder figure, and it's a figure that the majority of Star Wars collectors want. So I'm not sure why Hasbro decided to release it as an exclusive. The final figure that we're going to be taking a look at is the Phase 1 Clone Trooper, and this is just a repack of that new Clone Wars style clone body with a new helmet, but honestly, I'm not upset about that. You can never release too many of these basic army builder type figures, and I think that overall this figure looks really nice and I think will fit into most people's collections. The only thing that I don't like about it is the helmet. It feels like 5% too big, and I know it's a small thing, but it really does bother me. Overall, I really love the Clone Trooper figures, and honestly, I think they're some of the coolest toys in the Black Series lineup. But there's one huge problem which I think plagues the line, and that is Hasbro's insistence on making these figures retailer exclusives. Since I made part 1 in winter of 2019, there have been 7 figures which were released. And of those figures, 4 of them were exclusives. And it's really frustrating because half the time when you go to buy those figures, those retailers never stock them, or when you go online, they're always sold out the instant they're made available. And it just really breeds this very frustrating environment for collectors where people who just want to buy figures have to resort to buying them off a scalper for no reason just because Target decided or GameStop decided or Walmart decided that they're just not going to do a good job at distributing these figures. It's really frustrating, and I wish that Hasbro would stop doing it. Unfortunately, I made the same exact point in part 1 of this series, and in the year or so that it's been since that video was published, Hasbro really hasn't changed anything. If anything, they're doing more exclusives. So I don't know, hopefully in the future I won't have to make that comment, but we'll just have to see in part 3. I want to finish this video off on a positive note and talk about some figures that I wish Hasbro would add to the Black Series lineup. Now, as of the time of recording this video, Hunter and Crosshair have been announced for the Black Series. They're just not out yet, so I hope that they finish off the whole squad, and I'm sure they will. But some other figures that I want to add are the Republic Commandos, and I'm hoping that because, the Bad Batch and the Republic Commandos share a lot of the same accessories and armor parts, that Hasbro will finally make some Republic Commando figures. Fingers crossed. I also hope that Hasbro kind of fills in their lineup a little bit. I would love to see some clone troopers that match their commander figures. For example, the Wolfpack clones for Commander Wolf here, and maybe some 41st Elite figures to go with Commander Gree. Those are just some ideas I've had. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing Commander Bakara and the Galactic Marines as well. So let me know down in the comment section below what figures you want Hasbro to add to the Black Series lineup. Clone troopers only, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you later.